After an assessment and its questions have been created in the Tests and Quizzes tool in Sakai, the next step is to configure assessment settings. To do so, locate the draft copy in the assessment table. To filter the table to display only drafts, click the View dropdown and select Drafts. Then, click the Actions dropdown for the assessment and select Settings. Numerous settings and options are available. We'll go through the most typical settings and provide guidance to avoid common problems. In the About this assessment section, general settings can be configured. To change the name of the assessment, edit the title field. To display introductory text to students before they take the assessment, edit the description field. In the Availability and Submissions section, student access for the assessment can be configured. To set the dates that the assessment is available and due, click the text field or the calendar icon. Select a date from the calendar and choose the time by selecting hours, minutes, and whether the time is AM or PM. Note that the date picker in Sakai depends on the browser used. More details about the date picker are available in the PLU Knowledge Base. By default, late submissions are accepted indefinitely. To limit late submissions, click the calendar next to Late Submission Deadline and select a date and time. To disable late submissions, select the due date, No Late Submissions Allowed. To limit the time students are given to complete an assessment, locate the label stating, "Is it timed?" and select the option, Yes. Then, use the drop-down menus to set the length of time students are allowed. When the student takes a test with a time limit, they will see a countdown timer at the top of the assessment. In the Exceptions to Availability Dates and Time Limit section, allowances can be granted for individual students. In the Grading and Feedback section, grading settings can be configured. To generate a gradebook item for this assessment, locate the radio buttons for Add Grades to Gradebook, then select the option Create a Gradebook Item. However, if the assessment includes any questions that need to be manually graded, we recommend selecting Do Not Create a Gradebook Item for the draft copy. Then, after grading is complete, the setting to create a gradebook item can be selected in the published copy. Feedback settings include the option to provide feedback on submission. However, this option is only recommended for low-stakes or formative assessments that have auto-graded questions, such as multiple choice. If an assessment counts significantly toward the final course grade or requires any manual grading, such as an essay response question, we recommend selecting the option Yes, show feedback to the student on specific dates. Then, set the show feedback date far enough ahead to give yourself time to grade. If feedback is released too early before manual grading can be completed, the score will only reflect auto-graded questions and therefore will be significantly lower. This can be confusing and alarming for students. In the Layout and Appearance section, question navigation and display settings can be configured. For high-stakes assessments, we recommend the question layout option. Each question is on a separate web page. When questions are placed on separate pages, student work is saved more frequently, which may prevent a loss of work from sudden technical disruption. When finished configuring the settings, click the Save button, or, if ready to move on to the publishing step, click Save Settings and Publish. After the settings have been configured, the final step is to publish the assessment. To do so, locate the draft copy in the assessment table and click its Actions dropdown. To see how the assessment will appear to students, select Preview. Otherwise, select Publish. Next, review the settings for the assessment and click the Publish button. When an assessment is published, a new published copy of it will be created and added to the assessments table. The draft copy of the assessment will be retained. If the available date has not yet expired, the published copy will be marked as scheduled in the status column. Otherwise, The published copy will be marked as active after the available date and before the due date. The submitted column displays the number of students who've taken the assessment. To view and grade submitted assessments, click this number. We recommend maintaining draft copies because drafts can be imported to future course sites, unlike published assessments. If a draft is deleted, it can be restored in the trash view. More information about the tests and quizzes tool can be found in our other videos or by visiting the PLU Knowledge Base.